want to go ahead and go over a meme that I think is very powerful. And I can sit here and tell you all day long about how we can win this battle against the authoritarians, the central planners, the global elite. But I think this really does a much better job of giving you this visual. So you see all of the people on the left. And then you see the guy there with the whip. Obviously, he represents the central planners, the authoritarians. He's the sociopath that wants to rule over other people. He represents the entity that created all of the despair that we saw on that video. And he rules with an iron fist. He's going to rule by controlling you. He's going to rule by censoring you. But then what happens is, as his grip on society grows stronger, and as he becomes more psychotic, there's someone that stands up and says, no. No, I'm not playing your game. I refuse to be ruled by another human being. I'm going to stand up for freedom, for liberty, and for free market capitalism. I'm going to stand up for the rights of the individual. And so a few other people see this person. It usually just takes one. And they follow the lead. So then what you have is a small group of people who are standing up for what they know is right. And this small group has all the power. All they have to do is realize that the power is with the people and not the guy with the whip. But what does he do? He cracks the whip even harder to try to get these people to obey. But the key is they don't obey, because they've set up a community of people who are anti-fragile. So every single time he cracks that whip, they get stronger. And every single time they get stronger, more and more people see what they're doing. It opens their eyes, and they follow along. To the point where everyone is standing up, and once everybody stands up, then what happens to the power of the guy that's cracking the whip? At that point in time, he realizes exactly what the dictator in Romania realized back in the early 1990s when he went out to make that speech to Ceausescu. Remember that? He goes out and makes the speech to the 500 people. And they're getting a little riley. They're yelling. He's losing control. Or he puts out his hand. And that was cracking the whip. In the past, that would make everybody shut up. But this time, they just got louder. And at that point in time, he knew that he was that guy cracking the whip, and he gets down on his knees. And 9 days later, they took him out back, and they put a bullet in his head. It doesn't take everybody. It just takes a small group of people, patriots, if you will, to stand up for what is right, to stand up for the individual, to stand up for freedom and liberty. Now, this is represented perfectly in the history of the United States. That's why we call them patriots. But today, I think we could use maybe a different term. Let's give a round of applause for that. This is the opportunity in front of us right now. That we're this small group of people, and we can come together, and by understanding that God has put us here for a reason, understanding that we can impart this knowledge on others, on a younger generation, and then we can come together, and that's going to make us more and more powerful. That's really, I think, what I want the main takeaway of this presentation to be. There's people out there that really have the guts to do this, but you've got to take action. So on that note, I want to challenge each and every one of you this weekend, right now, that first and foremost, listen to these speakers, because they're going to help you be anti-fragile with your finances, personally,